All right. It's Tuesday. I'm behind the gun. I'm going to do a video for last Friday. Haven't done one yet. I need to. I will. Getting caught up. Got a tree I got to cut apart today. There is a tree I have to cut apart today. Cut into pieces. Whatever. Anyways, I put out a Instagram post yesterday, and a friend of mine commented on it. He took it down, which is okay, but basically said something along the lines of, towards my Instagram post, thankful for your privilege, or your privilege to do that. So what happened yesterday is I cleaned some gutters and I did a haul. I made $250 in roughly 2 hours. I'm actually dumping the fridge and the freezer that I got yesterday today. So technically a little more time than 2 hours, but who's counting? Anyways, and the gentleman that commented on my Instagram page, we grew up together, he's black, he's a great guy. He took it down, he felt like it would start an argument, which it wouldn't. But it did get me thinking about privilege. It did get me thinking about, does he have validity to his statement? I think he meant something else, but it got me thinking about myself and where I'm at in my life. And the truth is, although I believe he's mistaken in his meaning, he's 100% correct in that I have the privilege of being where I belong, doing what I should be doing to the best of my ability. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of recap about me. I'm dyslexic. I was, I'm 36 years old. When I was in middle school, they didn't really know or have a plan of attack to help kids that were dyslexic. So on paper, I actually found this out from a friend of mine after high school. But on paper, I was considered learning disabled, which at the time was basically, education basically considered me like a high-functioning, mentally challenged person, which they probably weren't wrong. But anyways, dyslexic, graduated high school, didn't go to college, was in a metal band, trying to make it work. I love music. I'm going to do this month's segment on Get to Know the Northman is going to be about music, but it didn't work out. The guys that I was playing with were extremely talented, but they didn't have the vision for it, and, maybe I didn't either. But at that point, I just started working, and it never worked out for me. I wasn't mature enough. My work ethic wasn't set up enough, or wasn't developed enough to really be what I needed to be for my employers. Guys, I've been fired from every job I've ever had except for my last job working for Solution Tree, which is a wonderful place to work. I've literally been fired from every single job I've ever had working for anyone else except for my last place of employment, which is Solution Tree. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but ultimately it comes down to I had not experienced yet the privilege of getting in where I fit in, of being in the position that is best suited for me. That's simply it. I'm not someone that can be in a cage. I need to be outside in the sun, working, dealing directly with customers, and not being in a situation where I'm surrounded by coworkers who, if they have a bad day, can turn south on me real quick, which has happened multiple times. That's not for me. I need to be exactly where I'm at. Now, please understand, nothing about my day-to-day or yesterday excites me. I don't wake up in the morning, saying, God, this is fantastic. I get to clean gutters today. That's not my passion. That's not my focus. However, the trade-off for me being willing to do the miserable work, the miserable hard, I did a video about that a while ago, learn to love the miserable hard. There's great freedom in that. Not only is there great freedom in the miserable hard for me, and if you're a male and you have a strong body, God's given you a physically active or a body that can handle the beating of doing physical labor, I'd really encourage you guys, you can go out and make $60,000, $70,000 a year just doing dumb shit work and make your own schedule, build wealth, be debt free. It's liberating, it's powerful. It's miserable, but it's fantastic. But my point is this, nothing about what I do really excites me, but what does excite me is that it's mine and I get to have the freedom and the privilege to make my own schedule and make the money that I want to make. At my last job at Solution Tree, pre-tax, I made $750 a week. I was making $36,000 a year. That was before taxes, and that was before 401k. One night, I'm talking to my brother while my wife Valerie and I were saving up for a rental. We were renting in a neighborhood over in Arrowhead. We were renting a house in Arrowhead over in Ellisville. And I just was talking to my brother. This story I'm about to say is so important. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. We want to talk more about money, and we want to speak more about what we're doing with our money, because oftentimes we don't, which is actually a mechanism of control. And I'll get into that in a second. But I was just talking to my younger brother, Josh, and I really owe him so much for doing this. But I just told him what I was making. And in that white hot moment, he was like, Zach, what are you doing? You could easily make that money yourself doing your own thing. And he was somewhat disrespectful, but sometimes we need to be disrespected for it to really sink in. And in that moment, I was like, man, he's right. And that conversation, preceded me scheming and planning to leave corporate America, to leave working for an employer, and instead be my own employer and partner with my customers, different demographics, different political views, different sexual orientations, different religions, etc., partner with them to not only facilitate their need, but also facilitate mine, which is make more money and make my own schedule and live in a privileged state of being where I belong, getting in where I fit in. Solution Tree is a great place to work, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I didn't want to get fired from Solution Tree. I was given a great opportunity by the controller there, who put my resume in the hands of the customer service director. And, I didn't want to do anything that could hurt him. He and I maintain a relationship. We go to the same church. I wanted to leave right. So I waited. I put my 2 weeks in, left on a good note. It was positive. But since then, I've just gone up and up. Now, part of that is because, too, I've partnered with people who are infinitely superior to me. In business, they're further down the road than I am. They're more established. And I've earned their trust that they allow me, or rather they extend their customers' trust in me, their trust in me to their customer, so that I can actually do business for their customers as well. So it isn't just me. No one gets anywhere alone. We all have assistance and or aid along the way. But it's important that you understand for yourself how important it is that you need to get in where you fit in. You need to get in where you can be most successful. And when you do that, that is a privilege. That's a privilege that you should defend and guard at all costs, because in that moment, you'll be able to expand upon yourself in partnering with others and really develop a freedom that you didn't necessarily have. I'm hoping to finally do an interview this month. And there's been a couple people that I want to interview, But I think what I'm going to try to do is see if I can't interview my daughter's first daycare attendant. I won't get into the specifics of her story, but I would love to do that, because she's a living example of getting in where you fit in and experiencing the privilege of using your gifting to be exactly where you want to be, to reap the rewards that you want to reap. And it did. All of this, I'm very grateful for my friend commenting on it. Again, I think his motives were slightly different. He's a good man, comes from a great family. But it did make me think And the fact of the matter is, guys, I'm privileged to do what I want to do. Now, it's hard. It's tough. It's physically demanding. But I'm privileged to do what I want to do. I'm in a spot that very few people are in because they didn't have a brother who disrespected them about the money they made, or they don't have the will to take a beating physically with their business, or maybe they're just bound by fear. I don't know. I don't have those situations. I had a good family that challenged me. My brother challenged me. I've had people that I've connected with through Business Networking International, through the Lions Club, who have increased my borders. But really, it all started with me, talking to my brother, and then taking a chance, guys. I'm exactly where I need to be, and from here, I'm going to develop more businesses. I'm going to do more things. It's going to be even better. It's only, barring disaster, it's only going to go up. But I wanted to put that video out today because right now there's a lot of discussion around privileges. Guys, find the privilege of getting where you fit in. My accountant, my tax guy, Paul Jackson, great man. He's been doing taxes now, I think for 10 years. While he was building his business, he would drive, I'm going to interview him, he would drive, if he'll let me, he would drive the city bus just to make extra money for his family. He's a hardworking man. He's a black man. I think 85 to 90% of his clients are white. Guys, you can make it. Get in where you fit in. Find a way. I have another friend of mine who's Algerian who works for a bunch of good old boys on a steel job. Guys, your gift will make room for you. Expose and manipulate the privilege of getting where you belong. Don't work for someone else if it's not satisfying you. Now, that's somewhat tricky. I don't believe that we should find satisfaction and fulfillment from our careers. I think that's really the mentality of someone who is captured and who is basically controlled by a powerful force that's over them. We need to use our jobs and our businesses to provide wealth for us, the tool of money, so that we can find meaning with our families and with our communities. That's my opinion. But my point is, when you get in where you fit in, it's hard to fail. It's hard to fail. Find that place for you. Find where that's at. Maybe it's in corporate America. My wife thrives in corporate America, loves it. She loves going to the same place every day. She loves the work that she does. I'm grateful for it. She's very successful. Find where you fit in. Get in where you fit in and experience that privilege, because it is amazing. Guys, I made $250 yesterday for 2 hours worth of work. I'm going to make about $225 today. I mean, yeah, there's people out there making more money than me, but hey, this is great for me. Have that contentment. Guys, I'm not cut out to be an engineer or a scientist, a quantum physicist, a doctor, or a lawyer. The truth is I'm a dumb shit. On paper anyways, I'm a dumb shit. But I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm doing exactly what I can do for my family to build wealth for Valerie and our 2 children. And hopefully, legacy, financially, hopefully. And you can do it too, regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, your sexual orientation, your faith, your lack of faith, your skill set. Regardless of that, you can find the place, you can get in where you fit in. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And don't let anyone minimize your success of getting where you fit in. Because I tell you guys, it's actually very difficult, because many times it requires self-evaluation. It requires us understanding that, hey, I'm probably not going to be a CEO of a corporate company. I'm probably a corporation. I'm probably not going to be a manager working for someone else, but I can be that for myself and do my own thing. It requires that we be self-aware to find and ascertain and live in the privilege of being in the spot that we belong. It's kind of like if someone is 5'8", they can't run, they can't jump well, but they swear they're going to be in the NBA. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's a person who's not getting in where they fit in. Or someone like me who's dyslexic, who struggles with reading literature, if that's redundant, I don't know, at a certain level because of my dyslexia. You know, the wife and I we're rereading all the Harry Potter books right now. We love it, but you know, I don't, it's not easy. We're on the Prisoner of Azkaban and we're slowing way down. So, and that's okay. It is what it is. You know, find a way to work around those issues that you face and get in where you fit in, because that is where your wealth and your freedom will reside. I promise you that. I promise you it will. If a dumb shit like me can be successful cleaning gutters, pressure washing, hauling away trash, if a dumb shit like me can do it, I know for a fact you can. If a guy who started going bald at 19, mediocre athletic ability, terrible scholastic culture, don't have a college degree, fired from every job I've ever been at, with the exception of the last job I worked at. If I can do it, God damn it, I know you can. And if you don't think you can, that's your fault, that's on you. And if someone's telling you can't, leave them today. Leave them now. We don't want to be blind to reality, but negativity is a poison. It is a poison and it is a shackle to freedom. Experience your freedom today. Get in where you fit in. God damn it, it's yours. There are deposits in you from the genetic lineage that came before you. I've said this before, and I believe it wholeheartedly. The blood of kings and queens resides in our veins. And if you choose not to believe that, then you are choosing to believe that the blood of serfs and servants resides in your veins. And it's on you. You decided. There's a German proverb that said there's two wolves in the heart of men. One is hate, anger, and rage. The other one is love, peace, and joy. And they're in constant struggle. They're in constant battle. The one who wins is the one you feed. Feed your hope, feed your strength, get in where you fit in, and live in the privilege. Woo! I'm getting fired up. Live in the privilege of doing exactly what you should do and or meant to do where you're supposed to be at. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful existence. If you've liked the content, like, share, subscribe. If you hated it, if you thought it sucked, send it to someone you hate. Leave a comment. Happy to discuss it. Let's go.